I have no idea what to do for an intro, so this is my intro. My show, Kid Political, where me, a kid, talk about political issues from around the world and from here in Australia. Today's topic is climate change solely human-made agenda? I don't know really what to name it, but that's what I'm going to give it. So, my personal opinion on the climate change situation, is climate change real or not? I believe climate change is real, but I do not believe that it's just human reasonings. And by that, what I mean by that is that with the human intervention, I believe that the world was already heating up, because it's been a while since we've had an ice age, and instead of having an ice age, I think we're going to have an age, or a summer year where it's a very dry and hard to live kind of climate, and in general, like, places will turn more sanding and dusting, kind of like the middle of Australia, just maybe not red sand, but everywhere else. Because if you look at most countries, if you look at the difference from like 1980 something, it's like green majority, and then now it's like only the coast's really green and north is green. Like with the American map, you've probably seen those like thumbnails on YouTube everywhere where it's got 1976, 2016, oh my god, the world's ending. Yeah, so I feel like it's just naturally going up, because this was actually the normal temperature back during when the Vikings were around. And that's up north, so where there's a lot of snow. I obviously don't live in the Northern Hemisphere, so I don't know exactly the temperatures. But yeah, and the reason why I believe that it's natural is because Queensland gets snow every now and then, which you don't think would be right, since they're near the equator, or a lot more near the equator than where I live. So I believe that it's natural, but at the same time, we've just accelerated the process. So by, with the high population rate, people create, like, heat themselves, like, the heat goes through the bottom and then comes out the head, so it goes into the sky, and heat rises and cold descends. So that's why the floor, it's a lot colder than what it is a lot higher. So if you're like in like the second level of a building, you'll be a lot hotter than what everyone downstairs is feeling. And that's just what happened, because we decided to evolutionize the human race by making machines and cars and buildings so that we could make more and get richer, so that we have a stronger economy and we can protect our country more. But in turn of effect, it's affecting the environment at a faster rate than what it used to be, what it was originally rising to. So that's how I feel. That's my personal opinion. Now, I know that there's a lot of environmentalists out there that think that we're the sole cause for it, and we're a major player in that part, and I definitely agree with that. We're definitely a major player within that part, but I don't feel that we're fully to blame. Nature itself is evolving, or whatever you want to call it. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, how they want to see it. You have the religious perspective, and then you have, like, I'm not an atheist, but then you have an atheist perspective, then you also have a Scientology perspective, and then you have an evolutionist perspective, a creationist perspective. There's different ways of looking at it, and then we're arguing about whether or not it's right or wrong, like who's right, who's wrong, what should we do, and honestly, I'm a big supporter of what Donald Trump is trying to do, not with the immigrants, I don't care about that situation, but what he's trying to do for their economy and import. He's trying to make it less export from other countries so that they can provide for themselves, which is good, and actually makes more jobs, which raises the economy. And as we've seen, he's created 8 million jobs in his first year. So that's a quarter of his term, 8 million jobs. blacks, Latinos, they're all at a low. Anyway, I'm getting off subject, but what Donald Trump's decision was that the environment would never influence, like climate change will never influence any of the government's decisions, which I think is bad but good at the same time. Because then their country can go to extent to help their country, and then by making, like, for a short period of time, making pollution, then they could start, like, it takes pollution to build machines that help with the pollution. I feel like that's actually a good cause, but if he doesn't do that, well then that's just a stupid move in my opinion. Other people might say otherwise. Everyone has their own opinion on every subject, but this is my opinion. Now, I know that political YouTube channels that are obviously popular, I'm new to this, so I don't know how to edit and everything, so when I'm pausing, I don't write scripts, I just go off what I can think of. So yeah, and I know this might get 10 views, so it doesn't matter what my opinion is, but it's one more video out there that might help someone down the road. So I believe that's always what my purpose is, just to help people, because I know what teenagers are like, because I'm one of them, and adults know what teenagers are like, because I've gone through this stage. It might have been different because different eras and different types of generations, but in general, they know what we're going through. And I'm only doing this because I feel that people my age might agree with me more, or have more of a nicer view towards me, because I'm at the same age as them, so they believe that I have the same level of understanding as them, whereas adults might use complicated, like, mumbo jumbo to them, and they don't understand it, so they have no idea what to do. Anyway, back to the topic, climate change. What I think we can do, the best thing that we can do is what South Australia's already been doing for years now, is they've made machines where you actually get money, like 10 cents per plastic bottle or can, and you, like, put in a little machine. See, New South Wales is doing that, but we don't have that many machines. I don't know about other states in Australia, but I know that New South Wales and South Australia are doing that. I feel like if every country starts doing that, or at least the big polluters, like the people with, like, loads of rubbish, they'll help the economy a lot. Well, the Philippines is actually a place where that could, like, be so good, because people, and then they would probably end up having one of the biggest economies in the world, because they're just handing out money, like, whatever they want to hand out. They don't have to hand out 10 cents Australian, because how's that going to help them? But they hand out money for plastic, which means that all the kids, that they actually go out and take all the plastics and the metals and the spare junks, and they sell them at their own shops, or they put them to, like, the dump areas and sell them to get money back, so they can pay for their own schooling and food and medication, which I think is really good. But then those machines, that can even help even more. So there's stuff that no one wants to buy, like you could find, like, a little box of, like, jewelry in it. You're gonna sell that, but, like, cans and stuff, you could make easy money off that. Easy money. It might not be a lot of money, but at that age, it's money. It's better than nothing. So those will help. I also feel like there's, like, I can't remember where, but I know there's, like, one gigantic, like, area that's just plastic. It's like two plastic continents. That's what they're calling it. 2 plastic continents. One in the Pacific near Hawaii, and then there's one in the Indian. Is it the Indian or the Atlantic? I'm not sure about that one, but I think it's the Indian or the Atlantic. And there's another bigger one there. So what I was thinking is, what they do is they start sending out, like, ships. Yes, it sounds pretty hypocritical. I'm sending out ships that take up gas, but what I'm saying is you send out ships and you do little squares. So it's not little squares, but squares. So it's got little micro fabric holes. So, like, when I mean really tiny, I'm like tiny to the point you can't see them. So it's like a knitted jumper. Those gaps so small, and they drop it in the ocean where all the plastic is, so none of the fish take it. And then eventually, when all the plastic's, like, stuck in it, and then they do, like, cleans where, like ships, like, take them, and then they, like close them, like, kind of like the little bags that you get, yeah, like that. And then that's got all the plastic, and then they do the recycling with the plastic and try and make new stuff out of it, like bags, and not like plastic bags, but like kind of woven bags out of recycled plastic, because you can actually do that. Just a long process. So this will take like 50 years to actually properly, 50, maybe 60 years just to properly start it and to like get in a kind of a rhythm. But if we start now, we can, slow the climate rate, or we'll just be less damaging to the environment. Yeah, I was gonna say that my next video, because I'm gonna do a couple of videos on environment, so I'll do like 4 videos per like subject kind of area, like environment or like economics and stuff. So I'm gonna do 4 videos on in the environment. So this is the first one, climate change. Second one will just be on plastic, and I'll make sure I actually do some good research and I'll learn some editing so that videos aren't just me sitting on a chair and have my iPad on my table and me recording this way with a Batman picture in the background and my green and purple room setup, which looks really bad. I really want to change it. So I'll do one on plastic, and then deforestation. You know what I'm talking about. And the fourth one, I haven't really decided it yet, but I think I might do it on animal extinction, and I'll go into that more because I feel that climate change, like I said, nature's evolving, and that's why you see, I'll talk about it when that video comes up. So then I'm going to start editing, and I'm going to try and like have a little backdrop so you can skip the videos after I make them. So I hope you enjoyed me talking about this. You probably didn't, and I think there's only, and I'd like to make a shout out, but I can't remember the names. So there'll be like a little panel afterwards, and it's like a little picture, and I'll have all the YouTubers' names on them. And and this person was also pestering me for me to make my first political video, and this isn't really politics, but it's politics at the same time. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and Kid Political out.